The office was silent. Too silent. The kind of silence that made people careful. Measured. Afraid to speak too loudly. Because of her. Elena Voss. CEO. Brilliant. Untouchable. And known for one thing. She trusted no man. Not her executives. Not her partners. Not even her own advisors. Meetings with her were short. Precise. Cold. No small talk. No smiles. Only results. People respected her. But they never felt comfortable around her. Because behind her sharp eyes was something deeper. Something broken. Something no one dared to ask about. That morning, her assistant walked in nervously. "Ma'am. IT support is here." Elena didn't look up. "Send them in." The door opened. Footsteps followed. But not just one set. Two. Elena frowned slightly. Then looked up. And paused. A man stood there. Simple clothes. Tool bag in hand. And beside him, a little boy. Holding his fingers tightly. "Elena Voss," the man asked politely. She nodded slowly. "Why is there a child in my office?" she asked, flat. The man didn't seem offended. "My son," he replied calmly. "School's closed today." Silence. Elena studied them. The boy looked around. Curious. Unafraid. Something about that was unfamiliar. "This is a workplace," Elena said. "Not a daycare." The man nodded. "I understand. We'll be quick. No excuses. No pleading. Just calm confidence." Elena leaned back. "Fix it." He got to work. Focused. Efficient. No wasted movement. The boy sat quietly on a chair. Swinging his legs. Watching his father with admiration. Elena tried to ignore them. But she couldn't. Her eyes kept drifting. To the boy. To the way he looked at his father. Like he was everything. "Do you always bring him to work?" she asked suddenly. The man didn't stop working. "Only when I have to," he said. A pause. "But I don't mind." Elena frowned slightly. "You don't mind, working with distractions?" Now he looked at her. And smiled faintly. "He's not a distraction." Silence. Unexpected. Elena looked away. Not used to that answer. Minutes passed. Then. "It's done," he said. Elena checked the system. Perfect. Of course it was. "What's your name?" she asked. "Daniel." "And him?" "Ethan." Elena nodded. The boy waved slightly. She didn't wave back. Not at first. But something in her expression softened. Just a little. They turned to leave. But Ethan suddenly spoke. "Dad, I'm hungry." Daniel sighed quietly. "We'll grab something on the way." Elena watched them. Then. Without thinking. "Wait." They stopped. She stood. Walked closer. Her heels clicking softly on the floor. "I was going to have lunch," she said. A pause. "You can join." Daniel blinked. Surprised. "That's not necessary." Ethan looked up at him. "Please," he whispered. Daniel hesitated. Then nodded. "All right." At the restaurant. Elena sat across from them. Observing. Quietly. Daniel made sure Ethan ate first. Cut his food. Listened to his stories. Smiled. Gently corrected him when needed. Everything. Simple. But powerful. Elena felt something strange. Something unfamiliar. Because she had never seen this before. Not like this. Not real. "Where's his mother?" she asked suddenly. The table went quiet. Daniel didn't react immediately. Then answered. "Gone." No details. No emotion. Just truth. Elena nodded. She didn't ask more. But something inside her shifted. Because for the first time, she saw a man. Not as a threat. Not as a problem. But as something else. Someone steady. Someone safe. That night, back in her empty penthouse, Elena stood by the window, looking at the city lights, but thinking about something else. A small boy. And the way he said, "Dad." Like it meant everything. Elena closed her eyes. Because deep down, there was a truth she had avoided for years. She wasn't afraid of men. She was afraid of being hurt again. And somehow, a single dad had just begun to change that. The night didn't end when they left the restaurant. It followed her home. Into the silence. Into the emptiness she had learned to live with. Elena stood by the window again. City lights below. But her mind. Somewhere else. On a small boy's laughter. On a man's calm voice. On something she didn't understand yet. The next morning, she made a decision. Unexpected. Unusual. She called her assistant. "Bring Daniel back," she said. The assistant hesitated. "As IT support?" Elena paused. Then replied. "No." Silence. "Just bring him." Hours later, Daniel walked in again. Ethan beside him. Just like before. Elena noticed something immediately. She wasn't annoyed this time. "Is something wrong with the system?" Daniel asked. Elena shook her head. "No." A pause. "I asked you here for something else." Daniel waited. Calm. Patient. Elena wasn't used to that. "I need someone reliable," she said. Carefully. Measured. Daniel didn't respond. He simply listened. "I want to offer you a position," she continued. "Internal support. Full-time." Ethan looked up at his father. Excited. Daniel, however, stayed serious. "Why me?" he asked. Direct. No hesitation. Elena met his eyes. "Because you don't try to impress me," she said. "You just do your job." A pause. "And you show up." Silence. That last part wasn't about work. Daniel understood that. "I'll think about it," he said. Elena nodded. She didn't push. Didn't demand. That alone was new. Days passed. Then one evening, Elena found herself somewhere unfamiliar. A small park. Quiet. Simple. She stood there. Watching. Daniel sat on a bench. Ethan playing nearby. Running. Laughing. Free. Elena didn't approach immediately. She just watched. Trying to understand. Trying to feel something she had buried for years. Then Ethan saw her. And waved. Big. Bright. "Miss Elena," he shouted. Daniel turned. Surprised. Elena walked closer. Slowly. Almost unsure. "I didn't expect to see you here," Daniel said. "I didn't expect to come," she replied. Honest. For once. Ethan ran up to her. "Do you want to play?" he asked. Elena froze slightly. Play? She hadn't done that in years. Maybe decades. "I don't think I—" "Yes, you can," Ethan interrupted. Confident. Certain. Daniel smiled faintly. "She's not used to losing," he said lightly. Elena raised an eyebrow. "Who said I'd lose?" Ethan grinned. And just like that, something changed. They played. Awkward at first. Then easier. Then real. Elena laughed. Actually laughed. And for a moment, she forgot who she was supposed to be. Later, as the sun began to set, they sat together. Quiet. Comfortable. Elena looked at Ethan. Then at Daniel. "You trust him a lot," she said softly. Daniel didn't hesitate. "He's my world." A pause. "And I have to be worthy of that." Those words stayed with her. Deep. Unshakable. Because no one had ever said something like that to her. Not growing up. Not in business. Not ever. "Why aren't you afraid?" she asked suddenly. Daniel frowned slightly. "Of what?" "Losing everything," she said. A beat. Daniel looked at Ethan. Then back at her. "I already did," he said quietly. Silence. "But I still have him," he added. "And that's enough." Elena felt it again. That shift. That crack in the walls she had built. Because for the first time, she saw strength differently. Not in power. Not in control. But in love. Real. Unconditional. That night, as she walked away, Elena realized something important. She wasn't just curious anymore. She was changing. Slowly. Quietly. But truly. And for the first time in years, she didn't run from it. She wanted to understand it. To feel it. To be part of it. But she didn't know yet that the hardest moment was still coming.